Guys, what's up? Darcy here at Six Strings Nine Lives. First off, a big happy new year to everybody. Definitely looking forward to spending a lot more time with you in 2025. Should be another good year in metal. I know I always say that, but I truly get excited at the beginning of the year. Looking forward to new releases, doing more videos, talking to you guys in the comments, watching lots of videos, and just coming into this room and kind of, like, to be honest with you, this is my little escape from reality. Come into this room, close the door, throw on some vinyl, throw on a CD, and just kick back and relax. And another cool thing that happens at the beginning of every year is the Metal Tag. And this is the Metal Tag 2025, second year that Marty and Alan over at Heavy Metallurgy have provided the questions. Yeah, and if you are gonna, or if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, now's the time, go for it. This is a great way to break the ice. These are great questions. Did I struggle with any? I think one I did struggle with. We'll get to it. Well, we'll get to it when we get to it. But overall, this just tells you a little bit, your audience of what some of your tastes are, what you're looking forward to, and just talking metal and hard rock. So get in there, go for it. Like I said, we're all just everyday people just wanting to share the love for metal and hard rock. But yeah, 20 questions. I'm going to start right off at the top here. And the question number one, and by the way, I'll provide a link in the description to so you can go watch the original video from Marty and Alan. And there'll be a couple other links in here. I'll tell you about that as we get to the questions. But question one, hype. Name a release you are eagerly anticipating in 2025. So if you know my channel, the obvious answer, probably answers would be King Diamond, but I'm not going to tell you that right now. I'm almost getting disappointed how it's taken so long. I mean, we're waiting for a studio album since 2007. Also Anthrax, I'm quite sure we will see a new Anthrax in 2025. Haven't had an album since 2016. That one is, I've been waiting probably 3 years for that one. But a few other ones, like some that I'm pretty much sure will come out this year. I'm looking forward to a new one from Vader. So this would be the follow-up to 2020's Solitude and Madness. I'm looking forward to the follow-up to that from Vader. I'm looking forward to the 2021 follow-up to the 2021 Running Wild album, Blood on Blood. So these are some of the bands that I enjoy, and even a little bit of death metal. This is Asphyx. I'm looking forward to the follow-up to Necrosaurus from 2021. That's a very dark cover. We'll pull that out like that. So a little bit of death metal too. Those three I'm really looking forward to too. Amongst, who knows, hopefully we do see that King Diamond and Anthrax for sure. Question two, show the 25th item, LP, CD, whatever in your collection. So I have a vinyl section, which is not in really, it's definitely not in alphabetical order. It's almost in genre order, but over on the CD shelf, it's all alphabetical order. So I pulled my 25th is AC/DC, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Great album in itself. So there is that. Question three, overdue. Name an older band that you've checked out for the first time in 2024 and loved. Well, I've had a couple of albums sitting kind of on my auxiliary shelf, whatever, didn't quite make the collection yet. And I thought, you know what, I need to check these out. And the band is Brainstorm. I knew of them. I've known of them for a long time. So I had these two albums sitting on the shelf for actually a couple of years, I think. Brainstorm, Scary Creatures. Fantastic album, by the way. I really got into this one. So older band, these guys have been around, well, they're not super old, they're not 80s, but I think 97 they started, and they have, what do they have out? Probably, actually their new album's getting released here in, I think, February or March, 14 studio albums. And I also had this one, Midnight Ghost, sitting on the shelf. This one, not quite as good as Scary Creatures, but that is a band that I knew of, but really seriously checked out in 2024, and have since then I picked up, I think, 3 more of the releases, so I think I have 5 total out of their 14 albums. I don't know if it's going to be a band that I go for, the full collection. We'll see. Question 4. Feed the Monkey. How do you purchase most of your music? Well, Amazon for sure. I live in a rural, remote area, not highly populated. I'm a couple hours away from any record shops. 2 hours minimum, more like 4 or 6 hours to get to, an actual record shop, which I do go to when I go to the bigger city. eBay a little bit, a lot from High Roller Records. They're fantastic. I can't. Yes, the shipping is definitely a kick to the nuts, but once you put in your order, the overall charge for the vinyl kind of comes down a little bit, and the shipping looks bad, but if you do the math in the end, you're not paying any more than you would at, Amazon. Well, maybe not Amazon, but any other retailer. It's in the ballpark, put it that way. But the best thing about High Roller is their availability is fantastic. Their packaging is the best. There is no other company that packages quite like High Roller does. Who else? I do order from Nuclear Blast. So I live in Canada. I am very close to the North Dakota border. So I have a post office box in a little one-horse town in North Dakota. So shipping within the states, fast, cheap. So I do order from Nuclear Blast, and I do order from Metal Blade quite a bit. Within Canada, there's another place that my friend Billy got me onto. And that is Lanois, and that is in kind of eastern Canada. Great outlet for a vinyl, great prices. You can order things from them. That's Lenois, L-E and then Noise. It's kind of like a Quebec, like a French name. And I order from bands' official sites. I have ordered from, Hellrippers from Bandcamp. I order from there. Let me see, Sodom's official website, just bands' official websites in general. And that's how I buy my music. So it's kind of varies all over the place. And the odd, maybe once a year, I will go for Discogs. Discogs is a little more, I would use it more if I was into the originals, but I'm happy with reissues if they're done right. So I don't use Discogs as much. So on to the next question. Enigma. Show a heavy metal album that musically is really hard to place in a heavy metal subgenre. So I'm going to show you an album, but this one kind of sums up the whole career of this band. It is the first band that came to mind. A band that I followed for many years, and that is Voivod. And this is Morgoth Tales. So this is basically all re-recorded songs, a 40th anniversary album of all these tracks re-recorded except for one new track, which is Morgoth Tales. I've always had trouble thinking, okay, where do these guys fit? They started off thrash, progressive, avant-garde metal. There's just so many things you could put, categories that you could put Voivod into. But I don't know. I just think Voivod is Voivod. That's who they are. And, they have so many different, I shouldn't say styles, but they do touch upon a lot of styles within metal. And, judging by this track listing, which is basically a song off every one of their album. But yeah. And this one, like I said, this one sums up their whole career, Morgoth Tales. So there is the answer for that one. And hopefully we see a new Voivod album in 2025. Question 6, Eating Crow. Talk about an album that you used to hate, but after years, it finally clicked, and now you can't get enough of it. Now, this didn't happen to me in 2024, but this is an album that has just gained momentum since I picked it up, since I got into the band, since I picked up their full discography. And the thing is, sometimes you're told not to like something, and you go through videos and you get these ridiculous videos of 10 most hated albums. Who says they're bad? go for it yourself. And this was one of those albums. Was always told, this is shit, you don't need it. But maybe if you've watched me, you're going to see this one coming. So Kreator Endorama. This one has went from the bottom of their ranking right up to quite a few spots, put it that way, and still moving up. I really enjoy this album. Whether it would have just been a Milla, however you say his name, solo album, doesn't matter to me. This is a great album. It has some little goth elements in it, but it's not like over in your face type of thing. But this is one that has grown and grown on me. And that is Kreator Endorama. And the cool part about this disc is they have a remastered on the first disc, and on the second disc is the original. So the remaster on here sounds much better, more clear, brighter. But yep, there's the answer for that one. There is the Eating Crow. Number 7, Impulse. Show an album that you blind bought in 2024. Now this one I haven't even shown in an update. I wouldn't say it's quite a blind buy. Let's call it a seeing eye dog buy, because I know who this guy is, but I've never picked up this album, and I never even heard it prior to me kind of like blind buying it, whatever. And that is Glenn Tipton, Baptism of Fire. Obviously, we know who Glenn Tipton is. And being a huge Judas Priest fan, I just really don't have an excuse or a reason why I never picked this up. But hearing it, partly I guess that might be the reason. It's okay. It's got some good guests on it. It's got Robert from Metallica on here. I think who else is on here? Whitfield Crane is on a song from Ugly Kid Joe. Who else? Shannon Larkin, current drummer for Godsmack. Brooks Wackerman, some of these names. Billy Sheehan. But overall, not a bad album. So this one came out same year as Jugulator. To me, what I'm hearing on this album is a mix of not quite as heavy and dark as Jugulator, but kind of a mix between Jugulator and Demolition. Now, Demolition came out in 2001 or 2001. Demolition came out, but I can still hear some of this in Demolition and the direction they were going. It's okay. There's one track on here I absolutely love, and that is called Extinct. And Glenn does all the vocals on here too, which I had no idea to begin with that he's an okay singer, and it's an okay album overall. But I thought that would be my answer for number 7. Number 8, Collector Scum. Show a title that you own more than one pressing. Well, a lot of my favorite bands I do own, for example, the new Judas Priest, I own the cassette, the CD, and the vinyl. But we'll just stick to one, and we'll just go with my favorite band again. I own 3 copies of Judas Priest Rock-a-Rolla. Now 3 copies. It was prior to the new remastered. It was just 2, but here is this is a reissue of Rock-a-Rolla on, what is this? Gull Entertainment, but I forget which the company is this. Repertoire. So there's one of that one. Kind of the cover's okay. And then you got this alternate cover of Rock-a-Rolla, limited edition colored vinyl. A lot of you will know this cover too. Kind of a goofball cover definitely my point of view, definitely kind of goofy, but had to have it for the collection. And then the newest 50th anniversary, I apologize for that, and remastered. This is fantastic. If you've not heard it or picked it up yet, this is Judas Priest Rock-a-Rolla. Like I said, remixed and remastered. This cover is embossed. Even these bubbles are all risen out of the cover, and right down to the beaded, the water dripping off. But great job on this. So that is one of many where I have more than one copy. All right, what else do we have? Show off a grail, something that you really wanted to acquire in 2024. Okay, I forgot to grab that. 1 second here. Let me just pause this. Okay, I'm back. I recently did a video on this. I'm a huge Rush fan. And as far as grails go, I mean, to me, grails are just something that you personally want. They don't have to be super valuable. They don't have to be old. That's just kind of how I look at it. So there was a period of Rush that I missed. I didn't own 2 out of 4 of these on vinyl. Back in 2015, I wasn't really collecting much for vinyl, and I kind of just missed the boat on a couple of these, and then the price just went insane. So I picked up this box set. So this to me is a grail. Now I have all 4 Rush albums from 89 to 96, which include Presto, Roll the Bones, Counterparts, and Test for Echo. So yeah, this is definitely a grail for me. I have other similar wants and things like that with hard to get albums, so happy to get that. So there's that one. Number 10, what are we? A Plea to the VCLT Gods. What is a grail item that you are on the hunt for? Now, VCLT, which stands for Vinyl Community Love Train. So I'm not really looking for anybody to send it to me or give it to me. I'd gladly buy it if somebody can point me in the right direction. But there is 3 albums from one of my favorite bands. And like I say, I always say I have a lot of favorite bands. But there's 3 albums that came out on MCA Records from Flotsam and Jetsam. When the Storm Comes Down, Quattro, and Drift. These are 3 albums that like I said, I've said in previous videos, Flotsam and Jetsam is a band I've never missed a release. So, I got to have these on release day. So I would love to get these on vinyl. I know there's original pressings out there. I'm not sure if the demand is out there for reissues. I hope there is. So that is definitely my plea to the VCLT gods. Moving on to number 11. Number 11, that's the one I had trouble with. Boomerang Album. Show an album that no matter how many times you purge it from your collection, another copy returns. I couldn't find one. Once something leaves my collection, at least the past 5-6 years, it has not come back. And if it came back, as a gift or something, it might have left too. I don't know. So I don't really have an answer for that. In my collection, I don't know. I'm at least the past 3 years, I've been super focused on my spending and things like that. So I'm not saying I don't make any mistakes or something, but definitely nothing has boomeranged and came back to my collection. Sorry for the long answer. Number 12, Reunion. Name an artist that you had lost track over time, but reconnected in 2024. And I don't know if I did. I fully lost track of these guys probably after 86. And I came around, I've always had this album on cassette, bought it in and around probably release day, and that is Loudness, Thunder in the East. But that's kind of where it stayed. I had Lightning Strikes on cassette too, but this is definitely a band that I've reconnected with. There's a period of actually 5 albums from when they were with Atco Records. One is kind of a remake, but I reconnected with Loudness on the kind of the pocket of stuff that I really love and still need to do some more digging. I mean, they probably have honestly close to 30 studio albums. They're just a shit ton. But and these were gifts from actually Thunder in the East was a birthday present last year from a friend. And then another good friend, 2 good friends of mine sent me these 3. So very nice of them. This is Lightning Strikes from 86. Reconnected with that. There's some good tunes on that one. Not quite as good as Thunder in the East, but then the next one, Hurricane Eyes from 87. Is that right? 87. Very similar covers too with those 2. And then finally is Loudness, Soldier of Fortune. This is a great album too. This is the one with Mike Viscera on vocals, and you know him from Obsession and a few other bands. But yeah, this is a great album too. 3/4 of the lineup stayed the same, but they brought in an American vocalist, Mike Viscera. At least I think he's from America, anyways, or the United States. But reconnected with Loudness. I would love to see, you know, more reissues of their early stuff. And like I said, there's still lots of digging that I need to do. All right, where are we? Number 13. Upstart. Name a new band whose debut album really impressed you. The debut did not have to come out in 2024, so I don't have a lot of newer bands in my collection. Like I said, I don't shut the door on them, but it's got to be something special. And this band is something special, or this guy. This is, I got my little sticky note on here with the number of the question. Hellripper, Coagulating Darkness. There's a bit of a, I haven't even opened this copy. This is a new reissue on Peaceville. So now all of Hellripper's stuff has come out on Peaceville Records, James's current label. Yeah, right from the get-go, when I was put onto these guys by a good friend, Cloudy Milder, I never looked back. Just fantastic. Two highlights on this album: From Hell, my favorite track, and then Demdike, In League with the Devil. Fantastic. So Hellripper's the answer for that one. Question, where are we? Question 14. Influencer. Show a band release that you bought in 2024 as a direct result of watching someone's YouTube channel. Now, this is a band that I heard a little bit of, you know, talk about, and then I watched I don't know, how did it go? Probably, I think it was Metal Mickey that got me onto it and said you should go over and watch Alan's review on this band, or Back and Forth, whatever. I watched both, I listened to both guys, and I picked this album up by Crypt Sermon, The Stygian Rose, and became one of my favorite albums of 2024. So definitely these guys influenced me big time, and they weren't wrong. Crypt Sermon. Question number 15. Don't judge a book by its cover. Show a great album with bad cover art. Now, this is a great album from 1991, kind of in the, you know, in the pocket of where CDs were big time. Vinyl was kind of, you could still get vinyl, but it was you know, not like CDs. But here is a great album to me with a bad cover. This is COC, Corrosion of Conformity, Blind. You know, I did a little bit of digging on this one too, because I had no idea. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, is that a fence? What is that? It just looks, it doesn't look like an album sitting on the shelf saying, hey, buy me, this is fantastic. It's actually Paper Dolls, which I didn't put two and two together. But what they explained too is, when I did a little bit of digging, the whole, you know, this is more what people should have been seeing. And with the small artwork on a CD, they just went with this plain cover. And there's kind of the Burning Paper Dolls on there and in the middle, and some other artwork. But when you dig into this album, fantastic. I mean, this is Pepper Keenan's first album. He is on my favorite song on this album, singing, I mean, Vote with a Bullet. And this is the only album that they did with Carl Agel on vocals, which he is awesome. There's so many good tracks on this thing. Damned for All Time, Dance of the Dead. This whole album's fantastic. And after this, they went on to, Carl left the band and Pepper took over full-time vocals, and then you had my favorite COC album, which is Deliverance. But there is great album, some bad artwork. All right, we'll push that one along. Where are we? Show an album whose cover art was created by one of your favorite artists. Now, this is the guy. His name is Joe Patagna. He is responsible for Motorhead's War Pig or Snaggletooth or whatever you would call him. but he's also responsible for a shitload of other really good metal artwork. And here's one of them, Sodom Decision Day. I absolutely love this cover. I love the colors he uses. And this one is a really cool gatefold, so I thought I'd pull the whole thing out. It's kind of almost a full, body shot of now Sodom. So this would be, no, that's Naren is creator, or is it? I don't know. Anyways, Sodom has their mascot on this cover. So anyways, I love this one and their latest studio album. There should be a new Sodom album in 2025, but here is Genesis 19. So this is also a artwork by Joe Patagna. I think Joe's probably in his 70s by now, but this is just killer. Great use of colors. Not super bright on this one, but there's just so much detail on here. So there is 2 examples, and then we go on to question 17. Name an album that you would like to see reissued on vinyl or CD, preferred medium. One for sure is 1997 album by Vader called Black to the Blind, and I've been told that is in the works by some folks in the comments, which I do appreciate that too. So that would complete my Vader collection. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'd love to see a new one from Vader. And then I would love to see AFM Records go back and reissue some more UDO albums. The first 4 would be nice, starting with Animal House, Mean Machine, Faceless World, and then their 4th album, Time Bomb. And then after Time Bomb, Udo took a break to, what year was that? Udo took a break from the UDO band and they reformed Accept for 3 more albums. Love to see those 4 come out next. I've picked up a lot of reissues from AFM with the UDO stuff, which I'm actually spinning in the background. Holy, great album, by the way. Where are we? Question 18. Name an album from a genre you typically do not listen to very much. Well, I only show metal and hard rock on my channel. Do I like other music? Yes, I do. I grew up on the 80s. The 80s is kind of common ground for, especially when I'm traveling with my wife. Bands like, I'll say, put a best of Duran Duran on. But some of the stuff that I personally like, and it links back even, to my mom or my parents. And I do have this. This was a gift from a friend. And it wasn't a joke. He knows I'm a metal guy, but he also knows I really like ABBA. This is ABBA Gold. So this is all I would ever need from ABBA. Another band that I wouldn't mind getting a best of would be the Bee Gees. I like that old stuff. Put it on. Especially, there's some great tunes on this. So, I could definitely go for an ABBA, a Bee Gees, Duran Duran, maybe even a best of the Beatles. But that's all I would need. I don't need their full discography or anything like that. So, next, question 19. Are we on 19 already? What band do you want to see live in 2025? Well, I would love to see Iron Maiden on the Run for Your Lives tour. For me, it's not so much the band I want to see. It's the people I get to go with. The last concert I went to, I got to go with 4 other friends. We had a great time. We went out for a meal, had a beer. We got to hang out. That's part of, the whole thing for me. That's what I look forward to. And to be honest, I would really love to see Iron Maiden one more time at least. So there's my answer for that. Last question in closing. Tell your viewers about 2 channels new to you that you discovered in 2024, or just shout out 2 channels you enjoy. Well, one that I always look forward to, and it's, I don't know if he's exactly part of what the vinyl community, things like that, but Metal School. I never miss a video. It's kind of like movie documentary style for me. I just learn so much. Or I'll take Y&T, for example. Metal School did a whole thing on Y&T. couple videos ago, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to check out some more. I know Y&T, but I'm going to dig deeper. So I love Metal School. And the last one would be more like a plea to come back, and that would be Cloudy Milder, or the Metal Mogul he's known as also, or just Andy, good friend, love his videos. I hope it's in him to do a comeback. Come on, Andy, come back and join us. Always loved your content, and he's a good friend too, so there's that too. But there is all 20 answers. I hope you enjoyed that. Went on a little bit longer, but whatever, who cares? Doesn't matter. But until next time, stay heavy.